Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back. Gavin Timms with REI Network. Okay, if you're watching us on YouTube and the podcast, make sure you like and subscribe. This episode is going to be unreal. Okay, I am telling you, it's one that you will not want to miss. This is insane what we're going to be covering in this. Before we do, we've also got a great offer I want to throw out there. If you want 500 records for free, 5,000 records for free. You want to go to batchleads.io/Gavin. While it's on, I don't know how long that offer is going to be, but me and Josh, when I introduce him here, use Batch. I'd highly recommend it. So go and get your free records. You got 7 days to check this out. Me and Josh both use it, generated a lot of leads from it, and we're going to get into that here in a second. So go to batchleads.io/Gavin and get in while you can, while that's available. So anyway, right, I want to introduce my guest, coaching client of mine, super cool guy, amazing story. That's why I wanted him on, and I twisted his arm enough to get him on here. So Josh Howard, how we doing? How's it going?
Doing great, Gavin. Thanks so much for the honor and privilege to be on here, my man.
No, I appreciate you. And I'm so excited to, and I don't even want to steal the limelight here because I want you to tell us your story. But I'll start a little bit and then I'll let you go. You're actually doing deals virtually from somewhere, and you're going to get into that. In Indianapolis, very active, came out the blocks doing deals, got a partner that also is virtual in Denver. But just tell us about you, what you do, where have you been doing deals from? And let's start there.
Yeah, Gavin. So about 13 years ago, I moved to the country of India. So not Indianapolis, okay? India. So I'm halfway around the world, right? And my family and I are a part of a nonprofit organization. My wife leads a children's home. It's an orphanage. She has over 150 kids there. And I work with pastors and leaders and churches and things of that sort. My wife's family started the organization about 40 years ago. And so they've just been doing amazing work. They do all sorts of different things to help the people of India and the surrounding countries. And so what kind of got us into the whole, real estate investment world and stuff like that was I have a friend of mine that's also in ministry. He's a pastor in Texas. And my brother-in-law, Greg, and I, who's my partner that you mentioned from Denver, him and I have been dreaming for a long time what it might look like to completely supplement our income so that we wouldn't have to take income from the nonprofit worlds, but we could keep doing that work for free, basically. And so then we could completely become, financially independent and what that might look like. But we just, from India, man, what do you do, bro? Like I had no idea what I could do from India where I wasn't going to be working, like every night, all night, throughout the middle of the night and stuff. I had no idea what to do. And so my buddy in Texas was like, Josh, have you ever heard of, wholesaling real estate? Have you ever heard of, what people do in that world? And I was like, no, man, tell me about it. So this was about 6 months ago that he told me about this. And back in August of 2020, at the very end of the month, we jumped headfirst in and started doing marketing and things in the Indianapolis market. And so that's kind of what got us going. And like you said, man, it was all the way from India. So I know if we can be successful from India, man, anybody can do this if they put their mind to it, for sure.
Yeah. And I just think it's amazing because you have so many more roadblocks than most in the United States. I was in England, right, when I was traveling back there a lot doing deals, and I'm only the time difference of 8 hours to 5 hours, depending on where in the United States. But you're on a new level of doing that. Okay. And just to stay disciplined and have the vision, okay, to be able to do this, I think is amazing. And I think people are just going to get a lot of value to say, well, hold on, if he's doing it from India, then why can't I do it when I'm in the same state or I'm going a few states across? Because there's no excuses, right? And that's the power of systems, and we're going to come on to that and dive into that here. But talk about, just real quick while we're on this, and about your nonprofit. I do want you to talk a little bit about it. If you want, to throw a website out for people to check it out. I know a lot of people want to give to these things, that our audience that watch it. I want to donate as well. So anything that you can share on that, if you want to just throw that out, that would be awesome if you don't mind.
Yeah, I would love to. It's so The nonprofit is called Central India Christian Mission. The website is www.indiamission.org. Indiamission.org. And like I said, it's been around about 40 years, man. We do a lot of different things. I mean, after 40 years, my in-laws have there's so many different arms and legs now of the organization. We do a ton of social work when it comes to drilling wells where there is no clean water, or we have, like I mentioned, my wife does the children's home. We actually have 6 different children's homes in different parts of India, with over 1,000 kids in those homes that we're taking care of every single day. We help pastors, we help leaders, we do leadership development. We have a hospital, we have a nursing college. So the sky's the limit, man, on what, what we've been able to do and what God has been able to do through this whole work. And so it's really been incredible. So yeah, anybody who's interested that wants to join us or even to come see us, we'd love to have people over to India if they want to come see the work and come hang out with us a little bit. But yeah, check out the website, indiamission.org. And yeah, you could also contact us through that website as well if you'd like.
Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. Again, done amazing things above real estate. So I appreciate you've been out there. I think you were saying for 13 years, which is insane. I remember when, we started to work together, we got on the phone, you filled out an application and you're like, I'm in India. And I'm like, Indy? You're like, no, I'm in India. And I'm like, oh, okay, awesome. Like, it was like 3 a.m. and we started this conversation and, obviously you started doing deals. Guy in Texas got you introduced, you started setting it up. So let's talk about that. Like, why India? How did you get into Indianapolis and that market?
Yeah, absolutely. So a little bit of the background. So my buddy in Texas had actually, he was a part of like Tom Kroll's coaching group with Wholesaling Inc.
Yep.
And so he introduced me to the Wholesaling Inc. people. I actually was coached by Lauren Hardy, who's a virtual, I think you've been on her podcast as well sometimes. So I got connected there. And through that course, Gavin, basically they really had us dive deep into, what market are you going to choose and stuff like that. And Indianapolis is where our nonprofit headquarters is. So I know that area really well. It's also big enough that it's a really, there's tons of rental properties in that market. There's a ton of fix and flip going on in the downtown area of Indianapolis. It's not like a New York City or an LA or a San Diego where it's just crazy expensive. It is a Midwestern town. And my brother-in-law, who's also my partner, he grew up in Indianapolis too, so he knows the area really well. So it was kind of a combination of how hot the market was, how many rental properties there were, how many fix and flip properties there were, the population of that city, and then also kind of our familiarity with it is kind of what got us involved there originally.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's exactly kind of how we teach it as well, that you have to go with as many, as much kind of armor, right? Tools with your tool belt within that market. When did you grow up there? Did you go to college there? Do you have family there? Do you know someone that's in that area? Do you know a runner that could do that? And then you got the 1% rule, right? Meaning that a 1% rule, let's say things are renting for $1,000 worth 100,000 or maybe better than that. All these things to identify into a virtual market is exactly the way that we analyze it as well. So that's awesome. So you start diving in, you start obviously marketing, you start doing a lot of texting using Batch. Okay, so remember guys, go to batchleads.io/Gavin and get involved. So you start doing a lot of mass texting. You're not really using a CRM. You've got no systems, right? But you're making it happen and you're doing deals, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so at the beginning, it was only texting. That's the only marketing we did. And we chose that, Gavin, which there may be some people, listening or watching. For me, living in India, I couldn't do things that were more of a pull type marketing where I was waiting on people to get back to me. Because if I did direct mail, they may call me at 4 a.m. in India. You know what I mean? Like you never know when they're going to call. Or if we were going to try to do any other sort of like I couldn't do bandit signs or driving for dollars or anything like that. I couldn't do those things being so far away. Texting was on my own time. I was able to do it whenever I had the time to do it. And it just went so much better that way. And it was crazy, man. We started marketing the end of August, closed our first deal at the end of September. Like it was nuts. And I had people tell me all the time, Josh, you know, it may take 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And I get that it does happen in some markets, but how quickly deals started coming in, man, it was unbelievable. Our first deal in September, and then October, our company, man, grossed, I think it was $26,000 in October. So how quick that happened, bro, was unbelievable.
Yeah, no, and it's amazing. We said that we were at a coaching call yesterday, and we'll come on to how we started to work together. But you even said to me that you did it faster than me, so that was nice of you.
I mess with you, bro. You've done way more than me, bro. You've done way more.
No, it was funny. It was funny. You reminded me. Yeah, I did it quicker than you. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. No, but it's you know, that's good. So obviously you're making it happen. You got your partner. You it's kind of what I would say it's chaos probably, right? You're making it happen. You're coming in, and you're very personable. You can hold a conversation. You're good at interacting. People are going to see that, which helps, right? If you can interact and talk, and you don't mind talking to people and interacting, then you can make this work, right? So you have that when people listen to you, and that's why I see what you did as fast, because you can hold a conversation, you can sell, you can talk, you can engage, all these things that's going to help you. So, you know, great job. So what happened was a little chaotic. Then we started working together for more of the system side, the structure of the business. You know, how are you going to be able to do what you need to do kind of in India, sleep, not rely on everything to come down to you.
Sleep, definitely. Definitely. How do I actually sleep and do this business? Yes.
Absolutely. Because you were working it. I mean, we've done calls at 2, 3 in the morning on a regular basis. And so obviously, how's it been? Like, you tell the story. So we started talking about better structure, better systems. How can you be smarter with your time to drive this, and looking at it from a marketing standpoint, you know, looking at more proactive instead of reactive marketing. And at the end of the day, when you have partners in the deal, you have to be more selective with the marketing that you're doing, in my opinion, because no one's interested in you doing $30,000 deal, $30,000 a month. Fantastic if you spent $25,000 doing it. Right.
Right.
And that's what people don't see. So looking at your costs, making sure you know, making sure your team's efficient. So talk about that, kind of the things that we've started to do, put in place, how that's looking as we start building this.
Yeah, it's been amazing, man, because we, you know, going back to the why behind this business, I think that's so important for people to really get early on, is why in the world am I doing this? Right. I mean, you don't want to quit one 40-hour week job to end up working 80 hours a week in another business. Like you don't want to do that. Why are you doing it? And so our why, Greg and I both, my partner and I both, was really to step out of income in the nonprofit world, but still work full-time in the nonprofit world. And so it wasn't to leave that to go into some, you know, other business where we're working more and harder and longer hours and stuff. And so at the beginning, like you said, things were super chaotic, man. We didn't really have any systems in place that were, we had systems, but they were broken, man. And it wasn't working. I felt like we kept getting to bottlenecks in our company because there just wasn't enough hours in the day, man. You know, there wasn't enough time in the day to really get things scaled well. And so we were really dreaming and having a vision for our business on how can we scale this so that it continues to grow in spite of us. It continues to grow without us working, you know, every single day in the ins and outs of everything in the business. And what's that look like? And so when we started working with you, man, I mean, you got us set up with a proper CRM that has been amazing, man. It's been so good. REI Simple has changed the game of our business. We now have a hub. We never really had a hub before. Deals were falling through the cracks. Leads were falling through the cracks because we didn't have that system in place. And so you guys getting us set up on there, you've got us connected to a virtual assistant that's been helping massively, you know, with a new marketing channel, with cold calling and things like that.
Yeah.
You've helped get our other VA, which is an admin VA, kind of up to speed on things and stuff like that. And so the fact that we now have virtual assistants, a system in place, you've talked with Greg and I about scaling and making sure that we're able to get to a point in our business of fulfilling that vision that we have of
Yeah.
really not having to work so many hours in a business and then spend so much on marketing. And then pretty soon at the end of the day, not really making much out of it, of what you would hope or what you would expect. And
Yeah.
so it's been incredible, bro. I've absolutely loved working with you. I want to thank you from our, Greg and I and our whole team, man.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, you and your whole team have just done an incredible job, bro. And honestly, I'm not a details guy, Gavin. I'm more of a big picture, visionary kind of person. And so on my own, left to my own devices, okay, I would have never been able to create a system or a structure like what you guys have helped us create. And so that's been, worth $1 million, man. It's been awesome.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. And obviously you're a pleasure to work with because you just get on with it, right? You're not questioning, you're looking at the model that works. Okay. And just to back up, what I seen when I came into the business is like, this is amazing. This guy's in India. This guy's in Denver. They're both doing it virtual. They're both making money. But then I'm looking at the profit's not enough, right? In my opinion, for the work that's going in, right? You're making $5,000 fees and stuff like that. And that's great. But now we've got to expand that, right? And obviously you're a giving person and all them, but you've still got to run this as a business to get where you're going, right? And it's all going to filter back through with your life and what you're doing and your passion is to be giving back. So that was one thing. Then we looked at the marketing channel. I felt that we were very, very lead heavy. And what I mean by that is that you were sending so many texts, so many leads coming in, and all you were doing was you were closing deals that were ready to close now. But we had nothing on follow-up. So I'm like, you're closing like three a month or whatever it was, right? 2-3 a month. And it's working. But I'm like, you're getting them fresh. Like I'm closing 90% on follow-up. So if we can get that up on the follow-up, all that now is profit because you've already spent the money. It's already in the pipeline. So if we can prime the leads and get them, having a hub of the business as the CRM, tracking the marketing channels that are coming in, and we don't know yet if it's cold calling and texting. Texting is going to be your number one. Why? Because that's where the focus is. That's what gets results for you. With me, it's cold calling is number one. So no right or wrong with that, but we need to track it. And once we're tracking it and we can control the lead flow coming in, because that's where the overwhelm is, and it gets tagged right in the CRM with the right amount of follow-up and sequences on it, it's going to get you structured, not only structured for you in the position that you're sitting in the business, but also the people and the team as you grow. When the acquisition manager comes in, right, and takes your role eventually, he will understand this is how we run it. And this is how you can't bring in an acquisition manager into complete chaos because it'll just be chaos for him, right? So I think we're building that structure out, then basic things, so you now can then get your time back. Because if you want to scale in the business, in my opinion, you can't be the business, right? Meaning you can't be the job. Because if you how you were doing, right, where you've got your full-time job in India, you're working at the night, you're sleeping a few hours, you have kids, it can only last so long, right? And you're getting results. So how do we get your time back, and then your time is spent in a different area by sitting on the business, working on the business to scale the business? And that's kind of where we're doing it while we're staying profitable. So I mean, amazing, really. It's good to see. I think we've got, we've stopped. I will say as well, not try to do too many marketing channels either. We talked about driving for dollars. You're overpaying. How are we going to track them? All these other systems that weren't being used efficiently were just costing money. We've got to get rid of them for now and introduce them when there's a time and a place. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the way that you kind of took a look at things for us, Gavin. It was almost like you were just doing basically an audit on our current business structure and saying, okay, what do we need to get rid of? What do we need to keep doing? What do we need to double down on? What do we need to add? What do we need to stop doing completely? And to kind of have a second set of eyes on the business as experienced as yours. I mean, it was amazing to be able to do that, man, because it really helped us save money. It helped us save money on areas that maybe we were wasting money on that we thought was going to work well and it didn't, and then put more money into areas that were actually going to be more profitable. And so that's, I mean, yeah, that's been amazing for us. It's been really good.
Yeah, no, that I appreciate it. And you've just done to date, you're working, I think it's not closed yet, but you're working on your biggest deal, right? You
Yes.
got a good one. And I don't want to, again, nothing's done till it's done, but you're working on your biggest deal, right?
Yes, we are. Yes. It's, yeah, it's a big one. It's a 5 property package. Yeah, that one is going to be by far our biggest deal yet. Uh, it'll be the most profit we've ever made in one deal. And whenever it closes, it's supposed to close in a few weeks, but it'll have our biggest month ever because of that deal. And so
Yeah.
it'll be big, man. It'll be big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's great. And it's good to see, it's happening to good people. You work at it. And I just think people listening, like there's no excuses. That's what I want them to get. Like you in India, you're getting up and you're making it happen, right? No one else. People want to just call it a day at 5 o'clock. You only wish you could call it a day at 5 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
When you're doing calls and we're scheduling things, 2 or 3 in the morning, because you're disciplined to make it happen with your vision and your why. Your why overtakes everything, right?
Yep.
When it gets hard, like, why am I doing this? Well, you know why, because your why is strong and you're going to make it happen. And that's what you're doing. So I appreciate it. Also, guys, I just want to throw this out. If Josh doesn't mind, he's obviously very active in the Indianapolis market. So if you're new, you've got deals under contract, you need help JVing, Josh has been working on a big buyers list as well. So he's probably happy to JV with you. So if you've got any deals in the Indianapolis market, Josh, I don't know if you can fire off an email or something. People can kind of send you if they've got a deal, they want a JV, and maybe you can, collaborate. Again, REI network with people and get more deals done as well.
Yeah, for sure. If somebody wants to connect or about anything in the real estate market, my personal email is jhoward, HOWARD 111 at iCloud.com, iCloud.com, ICLOUD.com.
Awesome. And that's going to be in the notes as well, guys, below. So make sure you check that out. So Josh, anything else? I appreciate you. I know you got to get back to it here. I don't want to hold you up because I know this is phone time right now. This is money time. So I don't want to be holding anything up. But anything else you want to share or anything before we go to finish us up?
Yeah, I just want to encourage anybody listening that, if, like I mentioned at the very beginning, if we're able to be successful from such a far distance in India, if you're just now starting, if you're listening and just getting started, I want to encourage you, just keep taking action, keep taking that next step, keep doing the next thing on the list, keep calling people, texting people. If you keep marketing to sellers, you're going to find deals. And so don't give up, keep focused because this definitely works. And if you need help in the business, I definitely want to encourage you to contact Gavin and his team because they do a killer job. And so they could get you set up real nice as well.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So guys, if you're interested in kind of working with me, and I swear I've not paid Josh anything to say them kind words.
If you want to, Gavin, if you want to, I'd be glad. No problem.
But if you're interested in working, if you need systems, okay, if you need help, I work with people one-to-one or I set systems up. Okay. If you go to reinetwork.com/systems, reinetwork.com/systems, reach out, we'll get on the phone. As Josh knows, it's not any sales pitch. We talk. If it's a fit, we do it. If it's not, we don't. So make sure you reach out. I appreciate you, Josh. Looking forward to getting you back on the podcast to get an update in a few months from literally what you've been doing, where you've been, and then how this structure and how you're going to grow. And hopefully it's not even the amount of deals. Okay. It's about the profit. You're doing more profit, with this system and building it out. All right, bud. So I appreciate you. And thank you for joining us today.
No, thanks, Gavin. I appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks. Bye-bye.